अंदर में जब एंटर करोगे ना तो ये दिखाना.
Joining me to talk about new release Sardar Udham is the man who plays the main man himself, actor Vicky Kaushal, or as he likes to be known, the fourth most desirable man in India 2020.
Oh, really? Am I? Okay.
You know this. It's on your Wikipedia page for 2 years running. Don't be coy.
I have never gone through my own Wikipedia page, but I'm glad to know that. Thank you. Thank you.
Only fourth. You were first a few years ago. Anyway, down to serious matters.
The Indians never forgive their enemies. They strike them down even after 20 years.
Growing up in the UK, sad to say, we were taught nothing about the massacre and then obviously the events that happened after that. How different was it for you growing up in India and hearing about this?
Oh, it has been very, very different for us and very personal for us. I have grown up in Mumbai, but I belong to a Punjabi family. My ancestral home is just 2 hours drive from the Jallianwala Bagh. And I have visited Bagh many times as a kid, as a college student. And it's a very numbing experience to be at that Bagh, to see those bullet marks over there and to see that well over there where, not just one or two, there were hundreds of bodies recovered from there. And just to know that there was an evening where there were 20,000 people at this very place. And there was just a battalion of army which just kept firing at them with no exit points. And they kept firing till their bullets were over.
Fire!
Over thousands of them dead and injured. It was a bloodbath. And whenever you're there, it's a very numbing experience. You can't help but get some visuals in your head. And you're pretty sure that no matter how horrific those visuals are, the reality would have been much more horrifying than that. What the families must have gone through, what the people must have gone through, it's horrifying.
Do you think it was important for somebody of Punjabi heritage to play that character?
I mean, it's an advantage for sure, because when you know the native language, you know the cultural, you're culturally familiar to that. I mean, everybody in India and all the Indians across the globe know about Jallianwala Bagh and the massacre that had happened, but not many people know about this particular individual named Sardar Udham Singh, even in India. Of course, everybody in Punjab knows about him.
Udham Singh, are you?
Yes. So for me, it was very special. For me, it was special to, get this part and get this opportunity to play that part and play that chapter of history. Because I, being a Punjabi, being an Indian, I want Indians across the globe to kind of reconnect back to to that chapter of history, and also the people across the globe to, remember this massacre.
कंट्री किसी इंसान को पनिश करे तो लॉ, पर कोई कंट्री किसी कंट्री के अगेंस्ट क्राइम करे तो क्या आपका लॉ उसे क्राइम मानता है?
There's a beautiful thing that my producer once said, that outside the Auschwitz camp, it's written that the people who tend to forget their past, they are condemned to repeat it. And it's very important for us, forget which country or who did what, but it's very important for us to remember the mistakes that mankind has done. The crimes that a man has done to another man. And it's very important for us to remember that, so that we don't make the same mistakes again.
It is not only our right, but our duty to rule India. Thank you very much. Thank you.
So do you think in particular in the UK that we should be learning about it?
100%. 100%. Not just because, okay, here we are putting a blaming finger at you, and not that. It's just because we got to learn from our mistakes. Whatever the mistakes were done by our ancestors, but we got to learn from them so that mankind can evolve in the best possible way.
आप वर्ल्ड पावर, इंपीरियलिस्टिक ब्रिटिश के खिलाफ आपकी आवाज उठानी बहुत जरूरी है.
Tell me about the attention to detail that your director employed on this film, because I saw a still shot actually of you in the same pose and literally the same clothing as Udham Singh?
Actually, Sardar Udham Singh is not a very well documented figure in our history books. You have, of course, a couple of pictures of him on Google. The most popular one being him being taken out of Caxton Hall after the shooting. Then one more of him doing Langar Seva at the at the Gurdwara.
That's
in
the
London.
picture I saw, yeah.
The picture, the Shepherd's Bush Gurdwara. That one picture you have, and then there's another picture of him being a background artist in a British film called The Elephant Boy.
Oh, wow.
That's true.
लोग सुधार गया है इसमें आपने चलना है चिन्हवास वाक्षना पीछे सोख वर्तवाणी जो बोले सो निहाल
So there are many such trivias and fascinating anecdotes about this character, which is just absolutely fascinating. But all those archival images, all those, so regarding Sardar Udham Singh, as much as we could, and then we, of course, in terms of appearance, in terms of costume, in terms of recreating those visuals and those snippets, we completely got into trying to get it 100% accurate, but also recreating 1930s London, 1920s. So that was again another task by the team.
How was that even done? Because I've seen bits obviously in the trailer, and Piccadilly Circus doesn't look like that anymore. So how on earth were those street scenes created?
They were actually, we had shot, the London that you see in the film are shot across Europe and Russia. And not actually in London, because London today is nowhere close to the London in 1930s, right? So we had to kind of search for those lanes in Europe, search for those lanes in Russia, and we found those lanes. There was a prep of about 4 years that had undergone, to kind of really search for those lanes. And then, of course, there was VFX to kind of, help us with creating that kind of an image. But whatever you see in those frames, the streets, the buildings, those are all real. The dressing up of those streets and everything was through VFX, the extension of that. But the cars and bikes, everything was actually there.
मर्डर को प्रोटेस्ट मानेगा या प्रोटेस्ट को मर्डर मानेगा आपका ब्रिटिश लॉ
I know that this was shot a couple of years ago and was due actually to be released last year. As an actor, how frustrating is that to kind of gear yourself up for something and then literally have to sit back and wait again before people can watch it?
Actually, we finished this film in the nick of time, just before all the quarantines and all the lockdowns had started across the globe. So we had finished literally just 2 weeks before the lockdown started in India. And through this 18 months of pandemic, of course, we had other issues, regarding health and regarding, what the entire world was going through, to kind of just sit on this disappointment that, we are not being able to bring out our film because it was too small a thing with respect to what was going on in the world. But that gave us also time to kind of work on the post-production, because the VFX, the sound, it required a lot of time. So I mean, I think Sujita were working on it, and once the film was ready, then I think it didn't take us much time to kind of come out on Amazon Prime Video now.
When did you plan the assassination?
Well, Vicky Kaushal, thank you very much. Good luck with Sardar Udham, which releases tomorrow, in fact, although this interview will go out after that. And good luck for the Times of India Most Desirable Man 2021, which will be next year.
Thank you. Lovely talking to you. Bye.
Too. Bye.
Tell people I was a revolutionary.